Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace and I got more Guild Wars 2 content. Playing as a Norn Guardian still without any surprise, of course, because just look at that greatsword, guys. That greatsword that I'm currently using is a Norn greatsword, and I personally believe it's the best looking greatsword in the game. How can you not love it? It looks like a giant sword of awesomeness, bound in leather and feathers, and just it's a Norn greatsword as well, and I'm playing as a Norn, so that also fits. Regardless, it looks awesome skin wise, and I'm definitely gonna transmute the living hell out of it. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is the giant dragon, the giant undead dragon that is on the screen that we are currently fighting with some guildies, as well as of course the people on the server. It's Tequatl the Sunless, which is a dragon that spawns in a higher level area, Sparkfly Fen, and it's a interesting fight actually. It has a lot more mechanics than the Shatterer, and it's therefore also a lot more interesting and a lot more challenging potentially. Then again, the first time I fought this dragon, I was level 38 when I was just eager to get the waypoint here, and he suddenly spawns. And I actually managed to get a gold ranking on that fight because one of the mechanics is breaking down the bone walls. But I'll get to that in a second. Because this, like I said, it has a lot more mechanics. And right now you can tell me, or you can see that I'm fighting a bone wall, which is not a dragon. This specific dragon basically spawns several things, one of them being the bone walls, which prevent turret attacks from hitting the dragon. Now you can basically take them out. They are basically stationary objects. They don't attack you back, they don't damage you. You can just hammer on them and get some additional experience for the fight and go ahead, and they drop down, and this allows you to use turrets, or the NPCs using turrets, depending on how you want to look at it, to attack the dragon. But you will most likely find yourself in a position that I am currently at, which is at the fingertips, or aiming at his fingertips or either head as a target to do some serious damage, because if you want to get a proper medal, you do want to do some decent damage. He does a lot of AoE, which is very painful, especially when you are a lower level for this area, which I am. It's recommended to fight this dragon when you are level 60 or up, and then of course the closer you are to level 65 or 67, I should say, it becomes a lot more easier, or a lot easier to begin with. Anyway, I'm just basically fighting the bone walls to show you guys this perspective of this fight. Otherwise, I would most likely end up just fighting the dragon at his toes, or paws, or claws even. Anyway, in addition to the bone walls and of course the dragon itself and the turrets and the megalays you can see on the top right, which is actually a bugged thing right now, I believe. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but it's a giant Azura megalays that is supposed to hurt the dragon, but as of yet I still have to see that happening. There's also basically Risen running around this fight, and these Risen, they are more of a nuisance than anything else, but there's one type of Risen that spawns with this boss that you might want to look out for. It's the bloated Risen, which basically explodes when it gets killed. Does a decent amount of damage when you stand near him, but he walks really slowly, and he has a decent amount of health, so if you just have some range focusing on him, which is usually the case with these sick amounts of people fighting the world bosses, you should not have too much of an issue. Just make sure to watch out for the AoE. Make sure to support and pick up people that are lying on the ground that are dying, and you should be all fine, because I am running a DPS / support build revolving around greatsword as well as my symbols, and it's very nice for leveling. I'm not using the most efficient way of using it, as well as my utility spells are not the most efficient ones, because the problem with this dragon is you are just casually strutting, rolling around, walking around, questing, and then suddenly this dragon spawns. There's no pre-warning, there is no like pre-event specifically bound to this dragon which warns the people that this dragon is about to spawn. No, you're just standing in this area and suddenly giant undead dragon drops from mid-air and starts to mess shit up. That's the only warning you get when he actually spawns. You see him, and within 2 seconds that you could actually see him, he drops down on the ground on all fours and he starts to do his thing. So, but people can basically they started to estimate to when he spawns from the point that he died. It's about 3 hours, give or take. It's the word on the street right now. Or the word within Guild Wars 2, I should say. And it seems to be relatively accurate, because as you can see at the beginning of this video, I was actually running towards him when he spawned. So there you go. And overall, I think this is actually quite of a better impression of an actual world boss compared to the Shatterer. And I'm not entirely sure if this is compared, or if this has to do with the fact that the level is different. Even though I don't think within Guild Wars 2 this should be an issue, because higher levels will get scaled down, of course. But because of all these mechanics that are added to it, as well as the fact that he definitely lasts a little bit longer than the Shatterer, especially with these significant amount of people, I think this is a first good impression of a world boss. As well as, of course, there's no input lag, which basically has been fixed to my knowledge as well on the Shatterer. So no input lag anymore. Actual chests that do spawn after this event with quite a decent amount of nice loot. So that is quite nice as a motivator to do this world boss, as well as, of course, beating a giant dragon is, of course, something epic to do. And like I stated in my previous world boss video, I live and breathe in MMOs to fight giant bosses like this with a sick amount of people, maybe friends, guilds, or just a goddamn server, and just bring down these amazing bosses and have a lot of fun doing so. Because these things, they don't happen like every 5 minutes, they happen every several hours. So being able to compete within an event like this is kind of a nice and potential epic thing to do. Anyway, like I was saying, this dude or this boss is about, well, he just died. This is his death animation, which is kind of awesome as well. But he spawns in, like I said, the level 55 to 65 area, I believe, the Sparkfly Fen. It's an undead dragon. It's another Zatan's lieutenant. So check him out if you are the right level. Don't go too low. This is the loot I got. And of course I will show off my Norn Guardian. Let me know what you guys want to see more. Make sure to subscribe for just general more gaming content regarding, well, Guild Wars 2 and other games, of course. And I will catch you guys next time. Take care.